do have friends who are in the sector, and they are foreigners also, and they're doing quite well, doing from Finland to customers abroad. Most of the company, their customers are foreign companies, they're not Finnish companies, but they're doing the work here in Finland. So depending on what kind of part of things you want to do in Finland and what you want to sell abroad. But since you are here, you have to decide if you want to be here or not. If you want to be here, you have to look around what you can get from what you have and do it here, what you need to do here, and what you don't have here, go and search abroad.
Eye Care Conference. Watch live at reglabeldigital.com/tvray.
I remember when I was walking the street in the Helsinki center, and many people look at me like, definitely I was a foreigner guy there. So it was many of us here. But it has changed. My company, we work in the healthcare sector. I have been working for this company. I set this company like 12 years ago. Before that, I've been working in the public sector and the private sector as a nurse. And actually, it took me about 10 years to realize that I want to be an entrepreneur. It not was like really clear to me. When I came here, I realized, oh, wonderful, this country's education, free education, and good education. And I really want to get education. I look at it, what kind of sector, would be the possibility for me, as a foreigner, because we have to compete with the Finns. Yes. And that already that time it was a lack of employees in the sector. And today it's a big lack. There's an opportunity even greater than before. So our company, I started myself, one guy, and then I realized my skills, what skills I have and what skills I don't have. The skills I don't have, I have to get from somebody else. You have a niche, but you're not going to sell it, not work off, you're trying it, but you're not going to succeed. You have to have a market for it. And fortunately, I have friends. I make friends here, and through them, I found people that have other skills that I don't have. And it was also very lucky to have these people around me, because it's difficult to find someone that you can trust and someone willing to help you, because of course it's not very easy, as you know. There's a few steps behind, as a local. So it took me little by little, and now I have a company who has the biggest company, one of the biggest companies who has ambulance service in Finland right now. Most of the ambulance that you see around Helsinki, which is yellow and red, that's our ambulance. We have flying doctor service. We're going to pick up people around the world and bring them back to Finland when they get sick. We have the insurance companies agreement, so we provide that service. They need to the intensive care cases. We go to an ambulance jet and pick them up, or if it's not intensive care case, we bring them back with the commercial flights. We're the only Finnish company right now doing that.
Okay.
And that's a little short about what we're doing right now.
Okay.
I have done the company has been there for 12 years, but we have done an exit between that. So we have sold the company once, and now we're building again.
Okay.
So we're quite good in doing that. So,
yeah.
But we can go in deeper that the hints that I can give you as a foreigner, being here as a foreigner, and how maybe what's a good idea to do it. That things that I have made a mistake that I can give you a hint that you shouldn't do it.
Yeah. I want to actually latch on to that. One of the premises why they started this seminar was they found that 26% of foreigners after their studies do not get employment. So they get a great education in Finland, but then they don't get employment, as opposed to 11% of Finns. And the two big factors they found that was a problem for that is that they were not networks. They don't have the networks. And the second one was language. Now, maybe in your experience, early on, like you spoke a little bit about this network that you had, the friends that you found. But how did you do it? How did you find the people that you could network with, that could help you with, and was language for you a barrier? Is it really a big barrier?
It is. One thing that when I came here, Finland was just like a step by, a stop by, I would say. I was not willing to stay here. I just came here to get my studies and then go somebody else, like most of the foreign. Just a stop by. When I want to go to England, you go to the States, whatever. You want to go to a bigger country, and that's a mistake. Since I'm here, you have to realize, you want to stay here. If you want to stay here, you really have to be integrated. You have to learn the language. You have to get involved. And that took me 10 years, to realize that. It was a waste of time. Because my mind was always somewhere else. I was not here. My body was here, but my mind was somewhere else. And that was a mistake. Because I could do this much earlier than I could do it. Okay. So you have to decide yourself, okay, you want to be here because there's an opportunity. There's very few foreigners in Finland, and that's an opportunity for you. Yes. Wherever else in Europe you go, there's much more foreigners. There's competition. That's competition for you. And one thing that in the beginning also I realized that I end up with people from my own country. Like here in Finland, or even I have lived in other countries also in Finland. But what happened in the beginning, I end up with people from my own country. And that's sometimes not the best thing, because the source of information of the country for our own people is not maybe the best ones. Because they bring you a quite negative side of the culture, of the country. And you miss usually many things, good things, the positive things that you can do it. So you have to be really careful, and don't be too involved with people from one country. Get involved also with the local people. Yes. And if you want to be here, I think the language is so important because the language is part of the culture. If you don't learn the language, it's quite difficult, to understand the people.
So you had some experience. Both of you actually then had first a job and then you started this kind of entrepreneurial. One of the things that is often said is that it's notoriously difficult to run a company. Are there some fun things that you can say that you experience in a daily life or yearly in your company that you'd like to share with us? That would be.
I think it's to create something, to see that what you have been created, that's so nice. Like the achievement. When you're working for somebody and for some company, somebody else gonna get that glamour, that's something. And if you do it yourself, it's much nicer, isn't it? So I think that's in the end, you see the thing that you have achieved. It's really nice. But I'm telling you to not always success. Yeah. There's always ups and downs, and there's sometimes more downs than ups. So sometimes you have to get motivation for something else.
I was thinking specifically in the beginning when you just start your company. There's so many bureaucracy things that you need to do, forms that you need to fill in. Was there anybody that helped you in the beginning? And then the second question pertaining to that, I wanted to ask about hires. Is there something that we can avoid if you need to hire personnel that you would say like it would be bad hires? Like how do you identify would be a good personnel person to come to work in your company?
Managing people is one challenging thing that you can do. In our company, the 80% of the turnover goes to people's salaries. So our biggest thing for us is manpower. Yes. That's true. Because we are 7 people with doctors and nurses, so the employees are always the biggest cost. So to employ the right person and the right place, the right time, that's a really big issue for us also. Still now. Nowadays, if you have seen the news, there is a very big lack of employees in our sector, and many of our employees are foreigners, and not easy to find the good people, and that you really can trust. Even it's like many people think, oh, but people working as a doctor and nurse, the moral is very high. But that's not true. Unfortunately, not. Yeah, sometimes we have difficulties to find people. People who are willing, to work like to achieve the goals that we have in the company.
You said in the beginning there's something that you really want to share with us. That, I think what would be if you think of mistakes that has happened in your organization that you could avoid. You mentioned one about learning Finnish quickly and then networking with other Finnish. But what would they be? And also like in company practical perspective, mistakes that you made that you think could have easily been avoided if you just had known.
The things that I have done through life and also to be in our own company, never burn bridges. Whenever you go, if somebody doesn't buy your product now, don't be mad about it. Just don't burn any bridges. Try to make connections and keep the connection that you have. It's a very small country, so everybody knows each other here. When you do something good, the people will also know about it. And try to do that. Be just patient. Be patient to yourself. Yeah, you're gonna have many door closed to you. In the beginning, I couldn't. When I started my company, I had money to survive myself. We didn't have this kind of start money or any kind of benefits, to start a company. For their own pocket, you had to survive. So I had jobs. I had done two jobs, and plus my company, I had to survive. So nobody gave me any money. Everything, I had to do it for myself. So it's a bit different right now. But even though people more used to foreign here, and they're more used to see foreign people around, and it's something that is more open. But as I say, now you're having more competition now. So, but on the other side of the coin, isn't it?
Yes.
But as Lucy said, you have to find a niche. Sometimes the niche that you find, you have to see if that niche also you can sell it for the Finnish people. Sometimes it doesn't sell it, and then you end up with nothing. You also have to have a niche. There's also a risk there. It's also a big risk that you succeed or not. But if you go into something that's already there in the market, but you try to do it better and to get volume through it and expand, that's what I've been doing because I knew the market. And I have been working in the market, the Finnish market. I already knew it, and I could do it better and cheaper, and that's why we have been succeeding.
I had a thought some time ago that we have already developed all the products that we need in Finland, and we're already selling them to everybody that can buy it. But you are definitely proving me wrong. I thought, what if we would export our expertise to outside? You went to try that in Spain. Could you tell us something about that?
Well, I came from Brazil, and as Brazil and many other third world countries, the bureaucracy is so big, and corruption is also there. And I realized, I go to Spain because I know Spanish, but my father's tongue. So I realized that there's opportunity there also because there is in Costa del Sol, there's a big community of Finnish people living there that they need also help services. But just to set a company took me 4 months. I said, that's too much, So it's very, very, very bureaucratic. And in 4 months, they just set a company and expending money just to stay there to set a company was too much. So I realized if I really want to start something, then I have to really move there and do a daily basis. But you asked me the hints that I could give also, and actually when you start a company, you have to be careful with your bookings. So find out a good accountant to help you. Of course, you can start to run accounting, but it's gonna take you a lot of time, and it's completely different world. So trying to find a good accountant that can help you, because you can get in trouble if not everything taxation and all these other things now. You can be quick in trouble.
Yeah, I think Finland is very meticulous. It's not like maybe South Africa where you can start something on the street and declare whenever you want to. It's very, very meticulous.
Exactly.